Let's begin slowly. Take a steady breath in and let it out gently. There is a question many people carry quietly, not always spoken out loud, not always fully formed, but deeply felt. It sounds like this: if everything falls apart, will I be okay? Pause there, because this question does not come from nowhere. It rises in moments when life feels uncertain, when the future feels unclear, when stability feels fragile, when things you once relied on no longer feel guaranteed. Take another slow breath. You may not say it directly, but you feel it in different ways: a sense of unease, a subtle tension in your body, a quiet scanning of what if. What if something goes wrong? What if things don't work out? What if I lose what I depend on? And underneath all of it, will I be okay? This is not a weak question. It is a human one, because at the core of it is not just fear of circumstances, but fear of losing stability. Take a steady breath in and release it slowly. We all build a sense of security around certain things: predictability, routine, income, health, relationships, plans for the future. And when those things feel steady, we feel steady. But when they begin to shift, even slightly, something inside us responds. The body tightens. The mind starts preparing. The heart becomes cautious, not because something has already fallen apart, but because it feels like it could. And that possibility can feel heavy. Take another slow breath. Here is something important to understand. This question, if everything falls apart, will I be okay? Is not really about everything. It is about you, your ability to stand, your ability to endure, your ability to remain when things are uncertain. And many people are not sure, not because they are weak, but because they have learned to depend on what is around them, to feel secure within themselves. So when the external feels unstable, the internal begins to shake. Pause here, because this is where we begin to shift perspective. The goal is not to guarantee that nothing will ever go wrong. The goal is to understand what actually makes you stable, what holds you when circumstances don't, what grounds you when outcomes are unclear. Take a steady breath in and let it out gently. In this episode, we are not going to ignore uncertainty. We are not going to pretend everything will always be fine. We are going to ask a deeper question: what allows you to be okay, even if things are not? Because that is where real peace begins. In the next part, we'll explore why uncertainty feels so intense, not just mentally, but physically and emotionally, and what your body is actually responding to. For now, stay here, breathing, not rushing the question. You are not alone in asking it. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. That question: if everything falls apart, will I be okay? Does not stay in your thoughts. It settles in your body. You may feel it as tension, as restlessness, as a quiet unease that doesn't fully go away. This is because uncertainty is not just a mental experience, it is a physiological one. Take another steady breath. Your nervous system is designed to respond to stability and instability. When things feel predictable, your body relaxes, it settles, it conserves energy, it feels safe enough to rest. But when things feel uncertain, the body shifts, not dramatically, but subtly. Attention sharpens, muscles hold slightly, breathing changes just enough to prepare. This is not panic. It is alertness. And alertness says, something is unknown. Stay ready. Take a slow breath. The challenge is this. The body does not wait for something to go wrong. It responds to the possibility that something could. And in a world where many things feel uncertain, that possibility can feel constant. So your system stays slightly engaged, slightly watchful, slightly prepared, even when nothing immediate is happening. Pause here, because this is why. Uncertainty feels heavy, not because something has already fallen apart, but because your body is preparing for what might. And preparation requires energy, mental energy, emotional energy, physical tension. Over time, this can feel like fatigue, like carrying something you cannot put down. Take another steady breath. There is also something deeper happening. Uncertainty challenges our sense of control, and when control feels limited, the mind tries to compensate. It asks more questions. It runs more scenarios. It looks for patterns. It tries to predict outcomes, not because you are overthinking, but because your system is trying to restore certainty. This is important because it means your response to uncertainty is not irrational. It is protective. Your body is not failing. It is doing what it was designed to do. But protection, when constant, can feel like pressure. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. So the question becomes, if uncertainty is part of life, how do you remain steady without trying to control everything? How do you feel safe when the future is not fully clear? In the next part, we will begin to explore what true stability actually is and why it is different from the kind of security we often rely on. For now, stay here, breathing, not fighting the feeling. Your body is not overreacting. It is responding, and we are learning how to guide that response with understanding. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. We've talked about the question. We've talked about the feeling. Now we need to talk about something deeper. What actually makes you stable? Because many people believe they are stable until something shifts, and then they realize what they were standing on. Take another steady breath. Most of us build stability on external structures, things that can be seen, measured, predicted, a steady income, a clear plan, a healthy body, reliable relationships, a sense of control over outcomes. And when those things are in place, we feel grounded. But here is the deeper truth. External stability is not the same as internal stability. External stability can support you, but it cannot fully hold you because external things can change. Take a slow breath. If your sense of being okay depends entirely on what is happening around you, then your peace will rise and fall with your circumstances, and that creates a fragile foundation, not because you are weak, but because what you are standing on is not designed to carry the full weight of your security. Pause here, because this is where a shift begins. Real stability is not the absence of disruption. It is the presence of something that does not collapse. When disruption happens, it is deeper than control, deeper than predictability, deeper than outcomes. It is rooted in something that remains, even when circumstances change. Take another steady breath. This kind of stability has layers. The first layer is your capacity, not your ability, to prevent everything, but your ability to respond, to adapt, to endure, to face what comes without losing yourself. Many people underestimate this. They assume if things go wrong, I won't handle it. But if you look back honestly, you have already handled more than you once thought you could. Not perfectly, but sufficiently. And that matters. Take a slow breath. The second layer is your identity, who you are, beneath what you have, beneath your roles, beneath your responsibilities, beneath your achievements. Because if your identity is tied only to what is stable externally, then when those things shift, you feel like you are losing yourself. But if your identity is rooted deeper, then even when things change, you remain. Pause here, because this is where faith begins to speak. Your stability is not meant to come from holding everything together. It is meant to come from being held by something greater than your circumstances, greater than your control, greater than your understanding. Take another steady breath. This is where many people begin to shift from fragile security to grounded peace, not because everything is certain, but because they are no longer depending on certainty to feel okay. Instead, they are anchored in something that does not move when everything else does. In the next part, we'll go deeper into that anchor, what it means spiritually, and how faith becomes a source of real stability instead of just reassurance. For now, sit with this. You do not become stable by controlling everything around you. You become stable by rooting yourself in something that cannot collapse. Take one more slow breath. You are not as fragile as uncertainty makes you feel. There is more strength in you and beneath you than you may have realized. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. We've talked about stability. Now we need to go deeper, because there is a kind of security that feels strong until it is tested. And then there is a kind of security that remains even when everything else is shaken. These are not the same. Take another steady breath. Most of the security we are familiar with is conditional. It depends on things continuing the way they are. If this stays in place, if that doesn't change, if nothing unexpected happens, then I will be okay. But life does not always move within those conditions. And when those conditions shift, that kind of security weakens. Not because you did anything wrong, but because it was never meant to carry the full weight of your peace. Pause here, because this is where a deeper invitation appears. There is a kind of security that does not come from conditions. It comes from foundation. And foundation is not what is happening around you. It is what you are rooted in. Take a slow breath. In faith, this foundation is not abstract. It is relational. It is the quiet, steady reality that you are not holding your life together alone, that even when things are unclear, you are still being sustained, that even when outcomes are uncertain, your existence is not. This does not remove difficulty. It reframes it. Because instead of asking, will everything stay stable? You begin to ask, what holds me when it doesn't? Take another steady breath. This kind of security does not rush to control outcomes. It rests in something deeper. It allows uncertainty to exist Without immediately interpreting it as danger, it allows questions to exist. Without collapsing under them, it allows the future to be unclear. Without losing the present. Pause here, because this is where many people begin to feel a shift. Not a dramatic change, but a subtle grounding, a sense that even if everything does not go as planned, they will not disappear with it, that their peace is not entirely tied to the outcome. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. This is not denial. It is not pretending. That loss would not hurt. It is not minimizing what matters to you. It is recognizing that your ability to stand does not come only from what you hold, but from what holds you. And what holds you is not fragile. It does not shift. With every circumstance, it does not weaken. When things become uncertain, it remains steady, present, unchanging. Take another steady breath. This is the kind of security that does not collapse, not because life is predictable, but because your foundation is deeper than unpredictability. In the next part, we will begin to make this practical. How to live with this kind of stability in real moments of uncertainty, not perfectly, but consistently. For now, stay here, breathing, letting this settle. You do not have to control everything. To remain okay, you only need to be rooted in something that cannot be shaken. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. Understanding stability is one thing. Remaining grounded when fear rises is another, because fear does not wait for perfect conditions. It appears suddenly, quietly, sometimes without warning. A thought, a headline, a shift in circumstances, a moment of uncertainty, and your body responds. Take another steady breath. When fear rises, your system moves quickly. It prepares, it scans, it anticipates, and often the instinct is to do one of two things: control or avoid. Control by trying to manage every possible outcome. Avoid by trying not to think about it at all. But neither brings lasting grounding, because both are reactions to fear, not responses through it. Pause here, because staying grounded does not mean fear never shows up. It means you know how to meet it. When it does, take a slow breath. The first step is to return to the present. Fear lives in projection. What if, what might, what could happen? But grounding happens. In what is, ask yourself gently, in this moment, am I okay? Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Often the answer is yes. Your body may still feel tense, but truth begins to anchor it. Take another steady breath. The second step is to engage your body, not by forcing calm, but by allowing release. Soften your shoulders, unclench your jaw, slow your breathing, let your exhale be longer than your inhale. These are not small things, they are signals. Signals that tell your body you are not in immediate danger. And when the body begins to settle, the mind follows. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. The third step is to separate possibility from reality. Fear often speaks in possibilities. This could happen. That might go wrong. But possibility is not certainty. And grounding requires clarity. You can acknowledge, this is possible, but it is not happening right now. that distinction. Create space for your mind to step out of urgency and into awareness. Pause here, because this is where faith quietly enters, not as pressure, not as forced reassurance, but as a steady reminder. You are not facing life alone. When fear rises, you do not have to carry every outcome in your mind. You can release what is not yours to hold. You can return to what is: your breath, your presence. Your next step, take another steady breath. Grounding is not dramatic. It is subtle. It happens in small returns. Returning to the present, returning to the body, returning to truth. And over time, those small returns build something stronger. Not the absence of fear, but the ability to remain steady in its presence. In the final part, we will bring everything together, answering the question we began with: if everything falls apart, will I be okay? Not with vague reassurance, but with grounded clarity. For now, stay here, breathing. Not rushing the process, you are learning how to stand, even when fear rises. Take a slow breath in and let it out gently. We've been sitting with a question that many people carry quietly. If everything falls apart, will I be okay? Now we come closer to the answer, but not the kind of answer that dismisses the weight of the question. Not a quick reassurance, not a forced certainty. A deeper answer. Take another steady breath. The honest answer is this: some things may fall apart. Plans may change. Expectations may not unfold the way you imagined. Certain forms of stability may shift, and if that happens, you will feel it. It may hurt. It may stretch you. It may challenge parts of you that feel unprepared. This is real, and it matters. Pause here, because pretending otherwise does not create peace. But this is not the full answer. Take a slow breath. The deeper truth is this: even if things fall apart, you are not as fragile as fear makes you believe. There is a strength in you that has already carried you through moments you once thought you could not handle. Not perfectly, but sufficiently. You remained, you adapted, you continued, and that capacity is still within you. Take another steady breath. But there is something even deeper than your own strength, because your stability does not rest only on your ability to endure. It rests on what holds you. When you cannot hold everything together, and you are held, even in uncertainty, even in disruption, even in moments where you do not feel steady, you are not standing alone. Against everything that could go wrong, you are supported in ways that are not always visible, but are always present. Pause here, because this is where the answer becomes clearer. Will everything always go as planned? Number, will you always feel strong? No. But will you be okay? Yes. Not because nothing will ever shake you, but because you are not defined by what shakes. You are not sustained only by what stays stable around you. You are sustained by something deeper, something that remains. When circumstances change, take a slow breath in and release it gently. Being okay does not mean everything stays intact. It means you remain, even when things shift. It means your foundation does not collapse with your circumstances. It means that even in the unknown, you are not lost. In the next and final part, we will bring this into a quiet, grounded closure. How to carry this understanding forward into daily life, not with pressure, but with peace. For now, stay here, breathing, letting the answer settle, without forcing it. You are stronger than fear suggests, and you are more supported than uncertainty allows you to see. Take one slow breath in and let it out fully. We've walked through the question. We've explored the fear, the uncertainty, the need for stability. And now, we come to how you live with what you understand, not in theory, but in real life. Take another steady breath. Quiet confidence does not look like certainty. It does not mean you have every answer. It does not mean you are no longer affected by what happens around you. Quiet confidence is something deeper. It is the ability to remain steady without needing everything, to feel certain. Pause here, because this is where a shift begins. Instead of asking, what if everything falls apart? You begin to live with a different posture. Even if something changes, I will remain. Not because you control the outcome, but because your foundation is no longer built only on outcomes. Take a slow breath. Quiet confidence is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not force peace. It shows up in small, steady ways, in how you breathe, when uncertainty rises, in how you respond, instead of react, in how you allow fear to pass through, without letting it take over, in how you continue forward, even when the future is not fully clear. Take another steady breath. It is a way of being, a grounded presence that says, I do not need to predict everything to remain okay. I do not need to control everything to feel secure. I do not need certainty to take the next step. Pause here, because this is what changes everything. You stop living as if stability must come from outside of you, and you begin living from a place that is already anchored, not in perfection, not in control, but in something deeper, something steady, something present, something unshaken. Take a slow breath in and release it gently. There will still be moments when fear returns, moments when uncertainty feels heavy, moments when the question rises again. And when it does, you will not need to fight it. You will meet it differently, with awareness, with grounding, with trust. You will remember you are not as fragile as fear suggests, and you are not alone in what you are facing. Take another steady breath. As this episode comes to a close, carry this with you. You do not need a perfect future to live with peace today. You do not need everything to stay together, to remain whole. You do not need complete certainty to move forward with confidence, because your stability does not come from everything around you holding. It comes from you being held within it all. Take one final breath, steady, present, grounded. Whatever comes, you will not face it empty. You will face it anchored. Until next time, move forward gently with quiet confidence.